Hey everyone, it is Christine here from Christy Country Quilts, and I want to welcome you back for this week's Mug Rug Monday. I hope you all enjoyed last week's Coffee by the Campfire video. I am just so grateful for the positive feedback that we received, and I'm really glad that you guys are having fun with these projects. Today and this week we are going to be doing sipping with the sunflowers, because who doesn't love a cute little sunflower in the fall? And I love for this project how it looks like the sunflower is coming up over the horizon. So we're going to get started on that today. On our website, again, you will find the PDF file that has the sunflower outlines and your materials listed. For this mug rug project, what you're going to need are 3 gray rectangles and 3 black rectangles. Each of them are going to be 1.5 inches by 6 inches in length. You'll need a gray background square that's 3.5 inches by 6.5 inches. For your sunflower applique, again, you're just using up some scraps if you have them. So some yellow and black scraps. Backing fabric, you'll need a square of fabric that's 6.5 inches square and a batting fabric that is roughly the same size. You'll need a little bit of Heat and Bond Light again this week for our applique project. Again, that was the one with the purple label, and a binding strip that's 2.25 by at least 32 inches long. And last but not least, you'll need your quilting fuel. So grab your favorite flavor of coffee and let's get started. What we're going to do first is create the checkerboard pattern here. Now we're not going to mess around with little squares. We're going to create what's called a strip set. If you've never created a strip set before, you're basically just taking your rectangles and you're going to sew them together in alternating colors, black, gray, along that long edge of your fabric. So when you're finished, it's going to look like this. Again, we have our alternating colors. And also, to make it easier for the next step, you're going to want to press your seams all going one direction. It doesn't matter which way, just as long as they're all going in the same direction. Now it's going to be time to cut the strip set to finish our checkerboard pattern. To start, you may need to square off one side of your strip set so you have a nice smooth edge. Take your ruler and place it along the 1.5 inch mark and cut one strip from your strip set. You'll repeat this until you have 3 1.5 inch wide strips. Take the middle strip, flip it around so that all the blocks are alternating. You can now sew them together along those long edges and you have a checkerboard without using small squares. All right, so once you have your checkerboard completed, it'll look like this, and it should measure about 3.5 by 6.5 in length. I like to press my last 2 seams open, and it helps reduce the bulk for when you're stitching or you have your coffee mug sitting on there. So the next step is to take your gray rectangle and we are going to sew it on to here. Sew it long edges together. Okay. And then I'm just going to press that seam over towards the plain gray rectangle. Again, this just cuts down on the bulk. Okay. So your square should look like this. And now we're going to do the applique part with the sunflower. If you missed last week's applique tutorial with that video, or if you just need a refresher, I'm going to link the Coffee by the Campfire video in the description box down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out as well. But for this one, I traced out the 3 full petals of the sunflower, and then there should be 2 half petals. And the reason that we do them individually, you can, if you want to simplify things, trace out the full petal unit, but this creates kind of an overlapping, which is really cool and what you would see for a typical sunflower. I already removed the paper backing, so I'm going to set these down onto my gray square. So you're going to set them down, and your half petals are going to go along your seam line. Just placing them how we want them, and again, because they're not super sticky yet, we can move them around as we need to. The one thing you want to be sure of, and I'll show you here in a second, is that your sunflower petals, the points of them, don't go within that last 1/4 inch around your mug rug, because that is where our binding is going to go. So I have those there. I'm going to iron these down for about 5 seconds. Okay. And so it will look like this. And I overlap the petals just a little bit, and I put the petals down first, and then I put the center over top of those. And like I was talking about, you want your points of your sunflowers, you don't want them to come all the way to the edge, or they're going to get cut off when you put on your binding. Just like last week, you can see on here, all I did was I took the machine and I did a little zigzag stitch around each of the petals, and then I also did a zigzag stitch around the center. I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. All right, now that we have finished zigzagging around our appliques, it's time to finish our sipping with the sunflower mug rug. We're going to take our backing square, and again, we're going to make our quilt sandwich. So you take your 6.5 inch square backing piece, your batting piece on top, and then you're going to lay your mug rug top down as well. And this time I'm going to take just a couple pins, and I'm going to put one into the top and one into the bottom, just to help it from shifting around, because we're going to take, and to help kind of keep all these layers together, again, just a really simple zigzag stitch down across this horizon line. You could get fancy with it, and you could quilt the checkerboard, or you could do some echoes, but I just want to keep it simple, and that's beautiful. And we have our quilting done for our mug rug. The final step again is just our binding. Just like last time, I'm going to machine stitch the binding down, which means I'm going to start by applying the binding to the back of the mug rug, and then turning it over and zigzagging it around the front. I'm going to finish that, and I'll be back when it's done. Right, everybody, and there we have our finished Sipping with the Sunflowers mug rug. Again, I hope you enjoyed this quick project from Christy Country Quilts, and join us next week for Mug Rug Mondays again. And if you have enjoyed these couple projects, please make sure to hit the subscription button down below, and you will be notified whenever we post a new Mug Rug Monday video. Have a wonderful week and happy stitching.